The Persian invasion of Greece did not end at Thermopylae, nor at Salamis. Even after the destruction of his mighty fleet, King Xerxes still believed Greece could be conquered. His greatest general, Mardontes, remained in Greece with one of the largest armies the ancient world had ever seen. Meanwhile, far across the Aegean Sea, another Persian force waited. The fate of the Persian Empire would soon be decided, not by one battle, but by two. The Greek victory at Salamis in 480 BCE shattered Persia's naval dominance. Nearly 200 Persian ships had been lost. For Xerxes, the dream of conquering Greece was slipping away. Winter was approaching. Without naval supremacy, supplying the enormous Persian army would become increasingly difficult. The great king made a difficult decision. He returned to Asia with much of his army, crossing once again over the famous pontoon bridges spanning the Hellespont. But Xerxes was not abandoning the campaign. He entrusted its completion to his most capable commander, Mardontes. With 70,000 to 120,000 elite soldiers, Mardontes prepared to destroy the Greek alliance once and for all. After Salamis, the surviving Persian fleet withdrew from Greece. It first regrouped near the island of Samos, close to the western coast of Asia Minor. There, the Persians abandoned hopes of another invasion of mainland Greece. Instead, they beached many of their ships beneath the slopes of Mount Mycale. A fortified camp was constructed. Wooden palisades surrounded both the fleet and the Persian army. The Persians intended to defend, not attack. Their army likely numbered around 60,000 men, commanded by Tigranes and other Persian officers like Mardontes, after senior naval commanders assumed responsibility for the defense. The Greeks understood that Persia remained a threat as long as its fleet survived. A powerful allied fleet assembled. Its commanders were two remarkable men. First, King Leotychidas II of Sparta's Eurypontid dynasty, a veteran leader entrusted with commanding the allied navy. Alongside him stood Xanthippus of Athens, a respected statesman and general. History would later remember him as the father of one of Athens' greatest leaders, Pericles. Together they led approximately 110 Greek triremes, carrying thousands of sailors and marines. The coalition represented nearly every major naval power of Greece. Among them were Athens, Sparta, Corinth, Sicyon, led by their general Perilaus, Troezen, Aegina, and other allied Greek city-states that had remained loyal throughout the Persian Wars. Their destination, the coast of Ionia. The Persian commanders feared something even more dangerous than the Greek army: betrayal. Many of the Greek cities in Asia Minor had been forced into the Persian Empire decades earlier. Among them were the Samians of Samos and the Milesians of Miletus. Their loyalty was uncertain. Persian leaders suspected these Ionian Greeks might join their fellow countrymen once the battle began. So they acted first. The Samians were disarmed, their weapons were confiscated. The Milesians received another assignment. Rather than fighting on the front lines, they were sent into the hills behind the Persian camp. Their task was to guard the roads and communication lines. The Persians believed this would keep them from aiding the Greeks. Instead, it would prove to be a disastrous mistake. While the fleets prepared near Mycale, another decisive battle unfolded in mainland Greece. At Plataea, the massive army commanded by Mardontes met the united Greek alliance led largely by Sparta. After fierce fighting, Mardontes was killed. The Persian army collapsed. The Greeks stormed the Persian camp. One of the greatest invasions in history had failed. Ancient writers record that word of this astonishing victory reached the Greek forces at Mycale, whether by messenger or divine rumor, and inspired them before the battle, whether legend or reality. The news transformed Greek morale. Now they believed complete victory was possible. The Greek fleet landed. Thousands of hoplites, led by Sparta, advanced toward the Persian fortifications. The Persians remained behind their wooden defenses. Then, the Greeks charged. The Athenians, Sicyonians, Troezenians, and Corinthians attacked one section. The heavy Greek hoplites met the Persian wicker shield walls. At first, the Persian defensive line held. But as the Persian lines broke to the Greek heavy infantry, the defensive line collapsed before the Persian camp. Tigranes was killed in the melee combat as he attempted to strengthen his defensive line. Mardontes also died during the fighting. Thus, the Persians quickly lost their main commanders. The Spartans and Peloponnesian allies flanked around the right wing of the Persian army and attacked. The wooden walls were breached. The fighting became desperate. Persian archers filled the sky with arrows. Greek hoplites answered with shield and spear. Slowly, the Persian morale began to collapse, and the panicked army fled. Ethnic Persian troops banded together and fought a last stand. Then came the moment the Persians had feared all along. The Samians rose against their Persian masters. The disarmed Greeks inside the camp seized every opportunity to aid the invaders. The Milesians, stationed behind the Persian army, turned on the retreating Persians. Instead of protecting escape routes, they attacked them. Many fleeing Persian soldiers were cut down. Others became lost in unfamiliar terrain as they were deliberately misdirected by the Milesians. The Persian army disintegrated. Its fortified camp fell. Its ships were burned. Persia's remaining naval power in the Aegean vanished in smoke. Greek losses were substantial, mainly for the Sicyonians, who had lost their general Perilaus in the fighting as the Persians were defeated. In a single extraordinary day, or perhaps within days of one another, the Greeks had won two of the greatest victories in their history. At Plataea, Persia lost its greatest army. At Mycale, Persia lost its fleet. The invasion that had begun with hundreds of thousands of soldiers crossing into Europe had come to a catastrophic end. The balance of power had shifted forever. The victory at Mycale had consequences far beyond the battlefield. For the Greek cities living under Persian rule, it proved that Persia could be defeated. One by one, Ionian cities began rising in revolt. The Greeks soon crossed permanently into Asia Minor. Instead of defending Greece, they carried the war into Persian territory. These victories eventually led to the rise of the Delian League, an alliance led by Athens that would dominate the Aegean for decades and transform Athens into the most powerful naval state in the Greek world. Although Persia remained a vast empire, it would never again seriously threaten mainland Greece. At Salamis, Greece broke the Persian fleet. At Plataea, it destroyed the Persian army. But at Mycale, it ended an empire's dream of conquering Europe. The fires that consumed the Persian fleet also ignited something new: the freedom of the Ionian Greeks and the beginning of the Greek Golden Age. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we explore the greatest battles and civilizations of the ancient world.